Silence had always been Nara's favorite sound, not the kind of rain that thundered like with drums, but soft, slow rain, the kind that made the world seem like a calm watercolor painting. Every afternoon after her literature class, Nara would usually stop by a small cafe near the bridge. It wasn't famous, nor was it crowded. The owner, an elderly woman with silver hair and kind eyes, always greeted her with a smile and a warm cup of chamomile tea. Nara loved tea. Its steam rising like sunny ghosts she could almost catch with her fingers, carrying the soft scent of honey and a sense of calm. The cafe had tall windows facing the river. When it rained, the bridge lights reflected on the water like motionless fireflies. Nara often sat alone at the corner table, her notebook open, a pen resting between her fingers. She would watch the raindrops splash down the glass, listening to the rhythm that seemed to message her restless thoughts into serenity. She loved silence. She loved how the rain made everyone walk slower, speak softer, and think deeper. Yet sometimes, even within that comforting quiet, she felt a hollow ache, not from being alone, but from feeling unseen, as if her thoughts floated beyond anyone's understanding. On one of those rainy afternoons, Ethan walked in, the bell above the door chimed, followed by a gust of cold wind. His brown hair clung damply to his forehead, and his jacket wrapped around him like a second skin. In his hands he held an old film camera, carefully wrapped in a soft cloth. "May I sit here?" he asked, pointing to the table near the window where Nara sat. Nara nodded without looking at him at first. When she finally did, she saw Ethan gently wiping the lens of his camera as if it were alive, and she felt a strange warmth in her chest. For a while they remained silent, only the rain filled the space, tapping against the window with a soft rhythm. Then Ethan asked quietly, "Do you ever feel like the world slows down when it rains?" Nara blinked. That was exactly the feeling she had always experienced, yet had never voiced aloud. She smiled faintly. "Always," she whispered, her heart moved by the shared understanding in another's soul. The simple sentence marked the beginning of a quiet, gentle friendship. Every time it rained, they found themselves at the same cafe, sitting at the same corner table by the window. They never planned to meet, it just happened, as if the rain itself arranged their encounters. Ethan always carried his camera. He told Nara that he loved capturing things often overlooked by others. A single leaf floating in a puddle, mist rushing from a glass of water, or a cat sleeping under a red umbrella. "I like capturing moments that pass too quickly," he said one day, his eyes soft, "because they remind me to be fully present." Nara shared her poems, the ones she never gave to anyone. She wrote about the sky, about silence, and about words that trembled at the edges of her mind. Ethan listened as if every word mattered, and for the first time, Nara felt her thoughts had a home outside her own head. Sometimes they didn't speak at all. They simply watched the rain, side by side, their reflection trembling in the glass. Nara often thought, perhaps friendship only needs this, silent understanding, without the need to fill the space with words. One afternoon, the rain was softer than usual. The city outside looked like a teen dream. Eden seemed quieter. His camera stayed untouched in his bag. Is something wrong? Nara asked. Eden hesitated. Then he smiled, though it didn't reach his eyes. I might be moving, he said. Moving? Yes. A photography internship in another city. It's a good opportunity. Nara's chest tightened, though she didn't know why. They weren't anything more than strangers bound by Julie. Yet his presence had become a gentle anchor in her calm. She forced a small smile. Then maybe the rain will miss you. Eden chuckled softly. Maybe, but I'll miss you this view more. He glanced at the window. Yet for a moment, Nara felt his gaze linger on her reflection. In her heart, Nara whispered, I'll miss this too, more than I realized. Days turned into weeks. Then one day the rain poured harder than ever, but the chair beside her remained empty. No Ethan, no camera, only the echo of raindrops against the glass. Nara tried to write, but the words refused to come. The cafe felt colder somehow, even with her tea still warm. She returned the next day, and the next, but Ethan never appeared. Finally, she asked the cafe owner, "The boy with the camera? He left a few days ago." The woman said kindly, "He told me to thank the girl who always sat at the corner table by the window." Nara smiled politely, though her chest ached. That night, she opened her notebook and wrote a single line. The rain still falls, but the chair by the window remains empty. Months passed, seasons changed. Nara finished her semester, volunteered at the library and stopped visiting the cafe regularly. She thought she had moved on, until one quiet afternoon the first raindrop touched her hand, and the darkening sky seemed to call her back. Something stirred within her. Without thinking, she walked to the cafe by the bridge. The bell above the door chimed. The familiar scent of coffee and wet asphalt filled the air. She made her way to her usual seat. On the wooden table lay an envelope. Her name was written neatly in Ethan's handwriting. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Inside was a photograph. The view from their window seat, but reflected in the glass was her face, half hidden behind her notebook, smiling softly. On the back, a small note read, "I took this the day we met. The rain told me you'd come again." Nara's vision blurred. A small laugh escaped her lips, turning into tears. Somehow, even from afar, Ethan had left a piece of himself, not to make her sad, but to remind her of the beauty they had shared. That night, Nara stayed until the rain stopped. She opened her notebook and began writing again, not about loneliness, but about connection. She wrote about the stranger who met in the rain, about silence louder than words, about the subtle ways people can change each other without even realizing it. When she finally closed her notebook, she looked outside. The rain had ceased, yet the street glimmered, reflecting the soft glow of the bridge lights, and Nara smiled, a small, quiet smile, because she realized something simple and true. Some people come into your life like the rain. They don't stay forever, but they make the world around you softer, and the sky within you a little clearer.